and welcome to Movie Couple Live. This is a show where we talk about the latest in movie news and pop culture. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And happy Saturday, you guys. Welcome to today's show. We have so much to talk about in today's topics. As always, the weekends are reserved for the Bad Batch spoiler discussion, so we'll be diving into some spoilers for episode 6.
We're also going to be talking about some new silhouettes that were released for Borderlands, the movie.
Mission Impossible, more like Production Impossible. It is delayed again due to COVID again. So we'll get to that later on in the show.
And Cruella 2 already in development.
What? And so much more coming up today, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy weekend. I hope you guys all had a good day. Yesterday was National Donut Day.
Yeah, I got some donuts. Well, actually, they were mochi nuts.
They were mochi nuts. And if you want to find out what mochi nut is, we have the latest episode of the Movie Couple Eats up on our channel. It actually says first time trying Korean hot dog, because I figure if I made the title thumbnail mochi nut, people are going to be like, well, what is that? They're not even going to click on it. But Korean hot dog is pretty descriptive.
Yeah, you kind of know what that is. They're like, oh, okay, I want to see what that looks like.
Yeah, so that is in linked. That video is linked in the video description, well, below this video. So go ahead and check that out when you get a chance. Thank you so much for everybody joining in. I see the movie bunch in here: Vanja, Blade, Bleeding Green, Jack, Sean, MK.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
How y'all doing?
So, aside from that, we also have our Conjuring 3 review, non-spoiler, that is up on the channel, which is also now in theater. The movie, not our review. The movie is now in theater, and I think because it's a WB film, I want to say it's also available on HBO Max, but correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I'm getting it all very confused. Blade says, those Korean hot dogs looks pretty amazing, as well as the mochi nuts. The mochi nuts are delicious. The Korean hot dog's out of this world. I cannot look at another corn dog the same way or another donut the same way again.
I have to admit, putting a little extra stuff on there, like the potato and the extra cheese and a little bit of that sugar. I was like, okay.
What for lunch?
Okay, let's do it.
After
the live stream, we are going to go and get some Korean hot dogs.
We're going to get some Korean hot dogs, and we're going to go to the craft store. That's our afternoon. Welcome to adulthood, guys. This is what we do as adults.
Corn dogs and crafts.
Oh, man. Martin already hitting us with a super chat and his recommendations of the day.
Thank
Marvin
you so much.
Writes, PS3 Beyond Two Souls with Elliot Page. Does Elliot Page narrate the game? Hold on a second.
Maybe.
I need to find out a little bit more. And while we do this, she's gonna come and say hi because
hi, everybody.
She looks like a Muppet right now.
Oh yeah, with her little eyes. I love it. I love her.
She's so. Get away from me!
A little too much, Dad.
You humans!
Come here. There we go. Okay, you can sit on my lap now.
Okay, so I'm gonna look up this Beyond Two Souls
and see what kind of a game it is.
Yeah.
I'm always loving you guys' recommendations and suggestions on books. I feel bad that I can't get to all of them immediately.
Yeah, right.
But it's definitely one of those things that's like, I always like getting different kind of recommendations.
Elliot Page is the main star. I should have known this. I know the cover.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that. The cover, but the name somehow didn't resonate with me. But the image, obviously, it's very, very much Elliot.
Mm-hmm.
So we will go ahead and show. We have a PS3, so that's gonna work.
It's not like one of those suggestions. Yeah. We don't have the system for that yet.
We don't have a PS5 yet, guys. Probably won't get one until 2022, but that's okay. Oh no, Vanja says I have the virus again. Vanja, no.
What? You gotta. Oh my gosh.
That's just like our friend. One of our friends also let us know a while back. It just kind of came up randomly in conversation as we're doing like our usual weekly Zoom chats. He actually let us know that he actually gotten it twice as well. And I was like, whoa, I'm so sorry. I hope you're feeling okay. Drink water, get lots of rest. Stay in and relax. I'm so sorry to hear that, Vanja. That sucks. Navi sending a big hug.
Vanja!
Oh, cute.
Give you a big hug. Oh, give Navi a big hug. Give Vanja a big hug, okay, Navi?
Oh, cute. Beyond Two Souls was an interactive multi-path game from Quantum Dreams. Oh, they also did Heavy Rain, and for the PS4, they did Detroit Become Human.
Oh.
Love that. That's awesome. Oh, Manja says I was donating to UNICEF and the lady had it. That
What?
is awful. Did you call them to let them know that potentially this person was like spreading it? Maybe.
That is, oh my
I'm
gosh.
so sorry. It was donating to UNICEF and it like wow. I'm sorry.
That gives you
Oh
like one of those
man.
vibes of, no good deed, kind of a
Yeah,
thing.
I'm so sorry, Vanja.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
I hope our
Lots of
live
loves, lots
stream,
of hugs,
yeah, lots of
lots
hugs,
of virtual hugs.
virtual hugs, all Zoom hugs. I hope that this live stream can serve as a little bit of a distraction as you try to get comfortable in your home and you try to get better. We before we go ahead and dive into our first topic in newsflash, we have Chris's choice.
Chris's
Whoa, with a super
choice.
chat, Chris.
Woo!
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Chris
so
writes,
much.
here's a hard one for you.
Ooh.
Reboot the Breakfast Club. Who
Mm.
is your cast?
The Breakfast Club, I think, would be a little weird to do.
Well, we'd have to
nowadays.
update it, right? We'd have to
Yeah.
update a little bit, but it can still work.
Because a lot of those tropes that they use, a lot of the, the jock, I mean, I think you'd have to have like different variations of that kind of club. And I don't know if a lot of the things that happen in Breakfast Club would kind of, I mean, you'd have to really do some modernization on the movie.
All right, so we know that Molly Ringwald played Claire, so I like to start with her because she always stands out to me. Wow. Let's see. How old were they? Like, I think Millie Bobby Brown would be a great pick.
Ooh, that would be a really good one.
She'd be a fun one. Or what's her name?
What is the girl from It?
Sophia. Oh, she's fantastic actress.
But I think she would be a really good fit for it.
She's really actually depending on the age, she actually might be the better age for it. She's depending on how old. Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown. They're saying Daisy Ridley is Claire. Daisy might be a little too old now.
I think Daisy Ridley,
20s.
She might be able to be like a teacher.
She could be she's the one that puts them in detention. Okay, I gotta look that up. Sophia.
Tom Holland as the nerd. I kind of like that one.
That's a good pick. Sophia Lillis is the actress. I want so much for her. She's so fantastic and natural as an actress. I would love to see her do more. Okay, so we're thinking Sophia Lillis. Thank you, MK, for writing that in the chat. We're thinking maybe Millie Bobby Brown. I'm thinking also, and I think she might just be a little old. Who was the actress that played Arya?
Oh yeah, she could still play a really young Maisie. I want to say Ridley, but
Maisie Williams. Why is mine? You know what? I haven't had food today, so maybe that's what's affecting me.
We've munched a little bit. We had we attempted to make banana milk today.
Banana milk.
It turned out okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
And at the time, it was we were kind of feeling, and then we hopped on about ready to get ready, and we're like, oh, we really should have eaten something.
Yeah, so I ate a piece of the beef jerky that Blaze sent over and a slice of cheese.
Yeah, Blake, the stuff that you have sent over has been a lifesaver in so many ways, especially when I take it to work with me. I love that trail mix, and I love that beef jerky that you've sent. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And Rututu with a great suggestion for Claire, the girl from Jojo Rabbit, Thomason, McKenna Thomason, something like that. She's going to be in Last Night in Soho as well. She's a good choice as well. Great choices here. What about Emilio Estevez's character?
The jock character?
Yeah, what about him?
That's a little tough because I mean, doing a remake of Breakfast Club is always tough because you have to really start being on the pulse of like new talent. Too, because most of these young talent, by the time we've actually heard of them, they've aged out of like that kind of high school age kind of a thing to where they're like they could still play it, but they don't quite fit in their 100%.
Thomas McKenzie, yes. Thank you so much to Murda Ranta for letting us know the correct pronunciation of her name. Yeah, I don't know, but we got a great suggestion here. Timothy Chalamet.
Oh.
For John Bender. That's interesting. That is really. I would like to see. That's like a cool cast. If you put either a Maisie Williams or a Mackenzie Thomason or Sophia Lillis or Millie Bobby Brown with a Timothy Chalamet, with a Tom Holland.
Mhm.
Like that can all work.
But what I would really love to see if they did redo Breakfast Club is the fact that, one, they start going for a much broader ethnicity of cast
Because
members.
it should reflect today as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also
cast Jordan Fisher.
Get a lot of new talent kind of a thing,
Yes.
because Breakfast Club is perfect to bring in new rising stars kind of a thing. So that's where I would really love to like just dive into like some of these new talents that are coming up. And maybe they only have like a few independent films under their belt.
Yeah, but that's how you discover new talent, you know.
Especially
there's
at that
so
age.
much. Yeah, exactly. Like I kind of always go back to the High School Musical, the series, like that cast. And I know Breakfast Club does not need to be a musical because it technically isn't, even though it's got like great music in it. But the talent in that show, I was watching it I think Thursday night when I was waiting for the Bad Batch reaction to export, and I was just watching these episodes. I'm like, man, how are these kids they're so talented. They're so fantastic to watch. So I think you have like your pick of actors also from that cast, as well as so many other. But Armor says, I've never watched The Breakfast Club. That was kind of like you up until a couple of years ago. You never watched it.
There was a lot of movies that I did not see until I met this wonderful lady next to me. Kind of a thing. Hocus. Okay. Now, in disclaimer, I had seen a lot of Hocus Pocus throughout my years. I'd seen the beginning. I knew the story. I saw a lot of the Sanderson sisters, but I'd never sat down and gone from beginning to end without any kind of a break. Or at least I hadn't, or at least the last time that I had done that, I was pretty young.
Yes.
So it wasn't until Wendy's like, no, you're going to sit down and you're going to watch this.
Beginning to end, no bathroom breaks. Just kidding about the bathroom breaks. Jack is asking about The Breakfast Club. Is it supposed to be teen actors or early 20s?
They're all supposed to be
high school age. So you think like Glee and what other high school shows? I don't know, Saved by the Bell, but they were all like older too. So yeah, I would say, you know, either they cast true to age or, you know, 18 to play younger.
Yeah.
And that's why we're leaning a little bit younger on the actors, or at least actors, even if they're in their 20s, who can pass as a high school student, which like Tom Holland, I think, and he's, you know, 25 now.
Yeah.
You know, he really still looks that baby face, which is going to serve him. I think it's great until he gets like, I wonder what he'll look like at 40.
Yeah.
I really wonder, like will he still have the baby face? The never aging Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd in The Breakfast Club. There you go.
You can still throw Paul Rudd in as a high school student.
Why not? It'd be like Billy Madison. He's like, hello, I'm here for school.
And everyone just accepts it because but I think that would be really interesting. And also to kind of change it up to where there are a lot more, there's different concerns that The Breakfast Club has, you know, to where nowadays, you know, a lot of kids in school have to worry about school shooting. They have school shooting drills. Ugh. You know, do you put that?
Glad I don't have to deal with that in school.
Oh my gosh, jeez. I know. I mean, I remember when we were talking about maybe doing like drive-by drills kind of a thing. There were talks about it because there were some schools that were having problems with that. But they actually never came to fruition. They actually never did it because I think I was in high school when the Columbine happened. And I remember hearing about it when I was at work one day. Kind of a thing. So I'm wondering how they could should they integrate something like that? Should they, I mean, the different tropes of student characters, there's a lot. Breakfast Club has a wide open range of being able to do adaptations and changes.
Yeah, they can really make it, you know, more to reflect today's, you know, like student body and things like that. So I like to see if they were to remake it, I like to see that. And there's a whole list of like Jordan Fisher is great. There's the entire cast of High School Musical. Just plop them in; they're all fantastic.
Zendaya.
Oh,
I think that's
Zendaya's great. I love her.
Francisco, that is a really good scene. I like that.
Yeah, Catherine Langford. Yeah, there's really a lot of different people that they can cast.
We can cast Wendy
as a teacher. I am not of high school age anymore, even though I feel like I think like one. Because I just like
I still got that high school mentality.
Like all the kiddie things, like all the kids things. Chris,
I
thank
wanna
you
be an
for
actor.
this. Thank you for this super chat and a lead into a great discussion. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I'm gonna take off this little thing in the back here because we don't need that as we go into our first list of topics.
We still do
Cruella
have
2. Oh, just kidding.
2 more super chats.
Just kidding. We're
I
gonna
do
take
not-
all of those away.
One from Bleeding Green and one from Marvin.
Oh no, I missed them. Okay, I'm sorry about that, you guys. Bleeding Green, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. We
Bleeding
really do
Green
appreciate
writes, staying with John Hughes. Hey, so 35 years ago today, Ferris Bueller took his day off, June 5th, 1985. One of my
wow,
favorites.
that's right.
Bueller.
Oh my God. I do that
Bueller?
at my job. There's a lot of times where I have to make an announcement to a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
Whether it's, hey, we're looking for this person, or hey, is this anyone's lost item? And I'll go Bueller. So many times. And you know, all the kids are like, what?
They
what
don't get it.
They don't get, but I'll get a couple chuckles every now and again from parents.
Do you think they would ever reboot Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
I think it would be hard to pull off nowadays,
right?
But the idea of playing hooky,
you have to stay off your social media.
Oh yeah,
can't be in the back of anyone's photos. They're gonna see you and be like, ah.
That would actually be really funny. That's how his cover gets blown completely. Is that he somehow accidentally gets into someone's post, kind of like a Facebook post,
and he'll try to like if they're doing online classes, he'll take upload like a long video of himself just nodding and like whatever. But then when they call him Bueller, he's like not reacting in the Zoom. It could go completely. It'd be very different from the original.
I think it would have to be like they would have to be online classes.
Yes.
And he would have to be trying to manipulate, and then he's going to go out and like just run around town, kind of a thing.
And do what?
I know. I guess there's nothing open. It's kind of a thing. If it was all during COVID,
in the movie world, it could be, But if we're how would we? In the movie world, it could be no COVID. But then how do we make it so that his classes are online? I guess he would still be in school. I guess.
Yeah.
Go to physical school.
It's weird how when you look back on some of those movies, you're kind of like, this wouldn't work nowadays. How could you adapt these? Things like The Breakfast Club, things like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I find it, it would be an interesting kind of story to try to retell. Like you would have to, you know what? You might also be just like say, okay, we're having it take place in the 80s or having it take place in the early 2000s kind of a thing. So it's a semi-modern storytelling, telling of it.
It's not a period piece. Even if it's 20 years ago. God, it feels like forever.
I know.
Yeah, but that's a great film. If you haven't watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off, go ahead and give it a watch. There's like a little references in there at the end of Deadpool. Did a little reference to Ferris Bueller. So if you're kind of like, I don't get it.
I think that was Ferris Bueller was the first movie to have an end credit scene kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And it was all just a joke of Ferris Bueller coming out going, what are you still doing here?
What are you still doing?
The movie's over. Go.
Yeah, that's great. Some people are like, I don't get it. It's like, well, you got to watch Ferris. I mean, you don't have to watch a movie to get it because the scene can work well by itself. But go ahead and enjoy that movie. 35 years ago, Bleeding Green, thank you so much for your super chat. And we have one more from Marvin. Marvin with another recommendation. Raptor Red by Robert T. Baker. Hold on, I'm gonna take a picture of it.
That sounds familiar. That author sounds familiar. Like I think I've read some of his stuff before, and it's pretty good. So I think I've Raptor Red, but I'm curious. Oh yeah, I want to dive into that now.
Yeah, I mean, we have look the list for Wendy as far as reading goes. I don't know about your list. My list is forever long. There's a lot of books sitting in queue on my Audible, but that's okay because when I am done with one, I will jump into the next. And I'm going through the Shadow of Bone trilogy pretty quickly because it's very interesting, a lot of fun. If they get a season 2, I am ready for all the craziness. So Marvin, thank you so much for your recommendation and your contribution. And now we can move.
Now we can dive in.
Now we can dive in to our news flash with Cruella 2 in development already. So Cruella 2 has just recently hit, I guess, theaters and Disney Plus with premium access. You guys probably have seen our review for Cruella. I almost said our review for Cruella 2, but that's not even possible because that movie's nowhere near being done. It's just in development with the same director and screenwriter attached, and obviously Emma Stone to reprise her role as Cruella. I find it interesting, and I understand the film is a super success, but where they left off with the second one, I really feel like at the end of that movie, we can literally jump right into 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah, you really could. And
so the choice to do a Cruella 2 instead of giving us an 101 Dalmatians right after this is making me scratch my head a little bit, because I don't want the Cruella villain to kind of stay there too long, but like I just kind of want her to go forward. So is there a small chunk of time that we can give her to connect that to 101 Dalmatians, or could Cruella 2 potentially be 101 Dalmatians?
I think I would go with what you originally said, is the fact that I hope there's a little bit, they're gonna fill in a little bit more of a gap between where we left off in Cruella 1 and 101 Dalmatians to make Cruella a little bit more evil, to make it her so she slips a little bit more into that Cruella persona, and to where even Jasper and Horace are going, oh my gosh, what are we doing? This woman's nuts.
Yeah,
what happened to her? She used to be our childhood friend, and now she is just a complete monster. And I would love to start to see that development and then lead into 101 Dalmatians.
That would be cool, just to give her a little bit more time to play up that evil and the badness. What is it?
And then what you could do is change Jasper and Horace's character a little bit more to where they start to lose favor with Cruella in the second movie. And when they do 101 Dalmatians, one of the reasons why all the Dalmatians survive is because Jasper and Horace refused to do this horrible thing. And they actually kind of turn Cruella in. You can make could be like the saga of Cruella, where it's her rise, her domination, and then her fall. It's because of Jasper and Horace finally going, we're not dealing with this anymore. We're gonna, and you know what? You know all those secrets, those skeletons that you have in your closet, Cruella? We know all of them. And at the end of 101 Dalmatians, they kind of give that to the authorities. And then I would think that would be really cool to kind of have this little story of Cruella kind of bookmarked.
Yeah.
To where it's the rise, and the rise and the fall of Cruella de Vil.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting take, using kind of Jasper and Horace to be sort of the conscience part that Cruella no longer has moving forward. So that's going to be really interesting. We had so much fun watching the movie. The fashion, the music is unbelievable.
The use of music,
the set pieces,
I love the soundtrack.
So good. So I don't mind that they're doing a Cruella 2. I just don't want them to drag it out too long, just because it was successful. Like I want them to continue to tell a really good, really solid story, and I don't want it to be where they're like, oh, she was really like I don't want them to try to go anywhere near that.
Yeah,
like we should not want to sympathize with a woman who wants to skin puppies for a coat. Let's just get that out there and straight. So I don't want them to try to play at that angle. But given what you said, and she's just like getting worse and worse and worse and worse, where she's not going to, kind of change her way at all, because in her mind, this is what she wants to do. And she's going to kind of taking after what had happened to her and what she has gone through in the first movie, to maybe that message from the Baroness kind of resonates with her more than she actually thinks. And doesn't matter who she steps on and walk over to get to ultimately what she wants, and having Horace and Jasper serve as the anchoring point for the, doing the right thing. So it's not really Cruella having like I changed my mind. You're right. It's not good to, do the thing with the puppy, and having Jasper and Horace be that for her, because then she's going to remain ultimately the bad guy.
Yeah.
That's what
Talk to me, Disney.
See. Yeah, we'll see. We have ideas, Disney. Give us a call. That's really great. Amber Nail, thank you so much for your super chat. Amber writes, I loved Cruella. Such a great origin story. Now I pity her when I watch 101 Dalmatian. But one thing annoyed me was her accent, since it seems a bit forced. For someone who is, I'm not British, I don't try to, I can attempt the British accent, but it's very bad. So we won't go there. to me it sounded solid, but that's also to a like untrained ear who's
Mhm.
not someone who's not around British accents at all times. I want to say there's a video between her and Emma Thompson, and like the video title was something like, it was like a BuzzFeed or maybe like a Vanity Fair or something like that, and it was like, it, am I actually British? And I guess, I don't know, maybe they're trying to compare like Emma Stone's accent
Oh,
to
Emma
Emma Thompson's
Thompson's.
accent. So, but with Amar's comment, it's not the first time I've heard that. I think some other people also commented who are, in the UK, who say her accent isn't as authentic.
Well, especially when you go up against someone like Emma Thompson. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, who is just a master at her craft,
Oh,
kind of a thing.
yeah. And on the
So,
flip side, Murdaranta writes, I've seen a lot of British people comment in the trailer that she nailed the accent.
oh,
So
and
yeah,
it's
depends on your
something when
ear.
it depends on your ear, and a lot of people probably be like, "Oh, this doesn't quite strike right," especially if you're a fan of Emma Stone
Mm-hmm.
and you're used to her talking a certain way,
Yes,
and
yes.
then she starts talking in a different. Like when I first heard, who was it? I can't remember the actor, but I'm so used to hearing them in an American accent, and then I hear them in their native accent.
Christian Bale?
Oh yeah, that was it. I was so used to hearing Christian Bale do an American accent, and then when I heard him do his natural accent, I was like,
wait, what?
"What?"
That's how I didn't realize he was British. Like a dum-dum. I did not realize. And I was like, hold the phone.
What's going on?
What? Like his American accent is really, really, really good. Same with Emily Blunt. Her American accent is really, really good.
Mhm.
So much so that I forget sometimes she's British, even though she's very much British. Yeah. But yeah, super excited. And also, if you're a part of our Discord, Jack has posted the video that we're talking about in the Discord. So go ahead and check that out. I should probably pull up our Discord so I can invite some of you guys to our
Come and
community
join us.
of the movie bunch.
Join the conversation. I love all of the stuff that you guys put in there. It's really fun to see you guys' different opinions, and we get a lot of breaking news too.
Yes,
you guys find
our
it
reporters,
so fast, and we're like, yes,
like
we got our
Party and MK and Debbie and everybody else who I'm forgetting to name. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and invite and copy the
and
link.
Paste.
And the link is now being dropped into the chat if you'd like to join the movie bunch, the movie couple Discord, and join our community of awesome, awesome people. So with that said, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next topic here. And that is Borderlands. You guys, Borderlands, the movie, they're starting to release. And it's funny, we literally were talking about this last stream when we had only Lilith, and now we are getting all of them, getting all the silhouettes. So let's go ahead and take a look here. We have on the upper left-hand corner, that's Patricia Tannis, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. We have in the middle, the one and only Cate Blanchett as Lilith, and we have Kevin Hart on the right as Roland. Then on the bottom, we have Krieg Claptrap right in the middle. I had to, and Tiny Tina. I really actually do like these silhouettes. And by the way, fun fact, these are all photos by Jamie Lee Curtis.
I think that's great too, that she just was like, hey, can I have permission to take these pictures? And they were like, yeah, go ahead.
They look
and they were like, yeah, let's put these out. These are really good. And I'm super excited to see once they drop that silhouette and we're able to actually get some color.
Yes.
So, but these are nice little teases, especially of Tiny Tina. I think
I'm
like, I can't wait to see what she looks like.
The world's deadliest 14-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they look great, and I love that Claptrap did get his own silhouette there. And Dustin pointed out, how did he get it on the stairs?
Oh yeah,
only because we know obviously you can pick up Claptrap and put him on the stairs for a photo op, both in character and also production wise. But we kind of laugh about it because in Borderland 1 there was a scene, maybe it was Borderland 2, where Claptrap kind of rode up in front of a whole flight of stairs, and his dialogue was no stairs, no, and then
my arch nemesis.
Yeah, and very dramatic, which is why we kind of laughed. We were laughing about that. So, but what do you guys think of the photos for the Borderlands live action silhouettes? The only thing that I kind of am a little iffy with is, I don't know if I put it in here. Okay, here's another photo. This is the group shot. So this is by a different photographer, not by Jamie Lee Curtis. But we have the group together, which I think looks great. The only thing that kind of sticks out to me, and you guys probably already know what I'm going to say, is Roland.
Yeah.
Roland sticks out a little bit to me because of just stature wise. In the game, if they're trying to match the characters to be game accurate, Roland's size is a bit on the smaller side. And we know that is because, Kevin Hart, we can't ask an actor to change their size.
Kevin Hart, could you please, before we start shooting,
Yeah,
grow an extra 3-4 inches?
That's
It's like, that's so
rude, first of all, and secondly, impossible. But they cast him in the role, so his performance, I think we're gonna, see what he's going to bring to this role, the intensity and the personality of Roland. So I'm trying to really not be judgy of the first photo, but other than that one little thing, really the poster, or not the posters, but the silhouettes look great. Lilith is the one that really catches my eye because also she's a bias because I played as Lilith in the game, so my eye automatically go to her. But I'm very excited. I can't wait to see it in like you said, full color, see the costumes, what they look like, what kind of color schemes that they ended up choosing for these characters, because in the game you can have different skins and color, and you can kind of customize a little bit. So I wonder what they have chosen. I'm guessing they went with like the core design, before all the players customized it. So I'm guessing Lilith's gonna have a little bit of that like orangey purple, and the tattoo will be, like that glowy blue and stuff. So, but we look forward to it, to kind of seeing a little bit more from Borderlands. Very, very, very curious. Like that trailer, I'm excited yet I'm nervous at the same time. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic in Newsflash, which is Mission Impossible. You guys, this is being delayed again. Can you believe it?
Oh, a part of me feels so bad for Tom Cruise because, what is it, a few months ago?
Who's he yelling at this time?
Yeah, he's got to be pissed. Completely just livid to where he's like, I've yelled at you guys already 100 times. Don't do this. And yet, sure enough, he got shut down again for COVID.
Yeah, so the last shutdown was about 5 months ago, and they've halted shooting again in the UK because at least one member of the production have tested positive for the coronavirus. And so they're shut down for about 14 days, and everybody who has tested positive or come in contact, everybody essentially have to self-isolate. So we don't really know at this point how many people have tested positive, but we know at least one, and they will resume, assuming everything is fine, they're going to resume production on June 14th, I feel like this is one of the productions that we've heard about that has had this much difficulty as far as COVID goes, like getting like multiple, members of production getting sick from the virus. We also know right now UK also has a variant that is quite contagious.
Yeah.
So that could also be the reason. So I don't want to say like, oh, they were being unsafe and uncareful. It could just be that strain is super contagious and they happen to have gotten it that way.
Trying to contain something like this virus has proven near impossible for so many countries around the world.
Yeah.
So, full-on countries have had a hard time. So a movie production, yeah, I can see how they could have a problem popping up every now and again.
Exactly. So we wish all the crew who got sick, I hope they're all feeling better and they can get right back into production and finish this movie. Just finish it. I feel like they're kind of close, they've been doing this for a long time. So it's just crazy to hear like, oh no, it halted again. Like once again they have to deal with this.
I want to see what the new stunt is that Tom Cruise is going to pull off here and make us just
crazy
blow our minds.
Isn't there like involved in a helicopter or something with like diving off the cliff or some crazy shenanigan like that? With every movie I feel like, is he really gonna do this? And then they do it.
Yes,
and then you see all the for like Rogue Nation, like the jump that they did specifically. I was like, that was crazy because it was a specific, it's like called like the halo or something like that. The halo jump where you kind of like high altitude and then you release your chute late or something, which is like, and he did it himself. There was no like stunt person replacing him in it. Like it was all him. And obviously we know taking off with the airplane, also Tom Cruise.
I still
literally hanging, and they started the movie like that. They started that off with Rogue Nation, because Fallout was the one with the Halo jump. Like, and I remember sitting in the theater, I was like, wait, we're starting with this done? How crazy is this movie going to be? That might be my favorite Mission Impossible movie.
A lot of them have been really good. I'm really, just waiting for Mission Impossible in space.
In space. It's going to happen. I guarantee it. We're going to see it in our lifetime. It's going to happen. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and go back into the chat room here and see what you guys are saying. Yes, Halo jump means high altitude, low opening. And a lot of people are saying that, which is awesome. Isn't he going to the space station for the next Mission Impossible movie? That's the word on the street.
Well, then you don't have to worry about COVID when you're up there.
This is true.
You just take, the minimum fill crew that you need up there and shoot your scenes, and that's a wrap.
Yeah. Marvin's asking, how many Mission Impossibles have they already had? This one that is currently in production is the 7th one. So they've had a many Mission Impossible. With the space one, I guess that would be 8. They're going to keep doing it until Tom Cruise says I'm done, which will be probably never. I feel like he'll continue on and on and on as long as he is able to, and I'm going to continue to watch it.
Vanja, space COVID.
Space COVID. No, I don't want.
It's the first virus to go outside of orbit.
No, we don't need anything. No, take it away.
Then we can definitely say that this is the widest spreading virus that humanity has ever faced.
Terrible.
It got into space.
Terrible. Moving on to our next topic in Newsflash here. Shazam 2, the director for Shazam, David F. Sandberg, has released a short little clip on his Twitter teasing us not only, the coming Shazam 2 is coming, but also it looks like they've got a fancy new suit, a little bit more detailed, a little bit of there's the designs on the wrists and the belt and the boots are a little bit more intricate, certainly an upgrade from the first one, which I love to see. I feel like we should always give our superheroes a little bit of an upgrade. And it's not such a stark difference where you're like, hey, that's not the Shazam I remember. It's just got a little glow up.
Yeah, I like the new pattern. I like the fact that it's a little bit of a darker red and it has the what is it called? Like the highlights on it are a little bit darker. But I do kind of miss that big bright lightning bolt on the front, because I found that kind of funny that he was like, "Why is it so dark in here?" You think someone would have turned on some lights. Normally it's just the
Yeah.
He could have lit up the room with his lightning bolt.
But I think that's a cute way to tease, very much, in theme, on brand for Shazam, and his personality is like, you see this awesome superhero epic music. Why is it so dark in here? We should have turned on the light or something.
And he does a great job on playing.
Zachary Levi.
Zachary Levi does an amazing job on playing a 13. Or how old is Billy Matthews? I think they made him. Billy Batson is supposed to be a little bit older.
16?
I think, yeah, he's in his
16 or 17 at this point. We're not sure, but we look forward to seeing Shazam 2. I think it's going to be so much fun. I love the first movie. I just ate it up with a spoon. Vanja here has a super... Oh, sorry, not Vanja. Marvin here has a super chat. Thank you so much. In theme with Shazam, Marvin writes, if you could speak a magic word, if you could do a villain, what would it be? If you could do a villain origin story, what would it be? If you could do a secret agent stuff, what would it be? Ooh. If you could speak a magic word, I think a la Shazam, what would your one word be?
You'd have to make sure that it's not your name. I always thought that was funny that they did that with Shazam. So if someone ever walked up to him and goes, "Oh my gosh, you're so incredible. What's your name?" "Shazam." And he's like, "Oh shoot, Shazam." Kind of a thing.
Maybe you have to say it with gusto in order to, activate it and deactivate it. You can't just on a normal passing like a Shazam, that's not gonna work. You have to say it with gravitas. For me, magic word.
What would be an interesting magic word?
Navi. My magic word would be Navi. And then all of a sudden,
Navi would super puppy.
She does have a superhero costume.
Falky.
Mine would be Falky.
Falky.
It would sound not superhero like, but it doesn't matter. The origin of Falcor, the great dog. I'm gonna go with my first choice.
That will be the power, is that Falcor the luck dragon dog will come in and swoop in and pick you up and save you from whatever danger.
I would love that so much. I would also use the power all the time just so I can still hang out with Falcor. So it's like he's never really gone.
I've got to see if I can find an artist that can do that. Is to have kind of like take a like Falcor and then Falcor the Luck Dragon and kind of do like a mismatch so they're, you know, so they kind of fit together kind of a thing. Fortunately, they both kind of look like each other.
We felt when Falky had his longer ears, especially, and he slept in a little circle, so it was always just like, that's why we named him Falcor. The second we saw him do that, we're like, it's Falcor.
So now a villain origin
story.
It's kind of hard because there's so many of the big villains that have already happened. I wouldn't mind seeing,
I've got a few.
Like seeing how G.I. Joe is coming out.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind seeing like a Cobra Commander kind of villain story popping up, because to see exactly why he always wears the mask, or if they would change it up a little bit for this, because they're pretty much rebooting the entire G.I. Joe franchise.
Yeah.
So that kind of leaves open, hey, let's start tweaking some of these little things here and there.
For sure.
So another retelling of maybe Cobra Commander, I think would be really fun.
That'd be a good one. My head went immediately to all the Disney villains. So I like to see Dr. Felicia. I want to see how he kind of walked down that path with the cards and the voodoo. Yeah, because
you beat mine.
Oh, really? No, don't say it like that.
Yours is so much better. That one's so good.
I just love his character so much, and I wanted to see a little bit more, so I could see that. Ursula is kind of a cheat because I think
we are getting an Ursula.
I think we are too. Would Melissa McCarthy play her then, because she's already playing her the Little Mermaid?
Oh,
and not Queen Latifah like we all want.
We all want Queen Latifah. That's who we want to play Ursula.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
And secret agent stuff. So my favorite toy kind of thing. Let's say out of all of like the James Bond kind of toys or all of the Mission Impossible toys, which one? I think I would love to have like those things that he had in Tom Cruise had when he was climbing the
kind of like the super suction spider gloves.
So like in other words, a Spider-Man, to have like a Spider-Man suit kind of like he had in that one.
That'd be interesting. For me, super agent stuff. I mean, if we're talking mission, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just completely forgot one that I remember from an old James Bond movie. Q had a ring that anytime he went up to like a slot machine, he automatically got the jackpot. I want that.
How? What?
So he went up there, and as soon as he pulled the lever, it sent a signal into the machine, making it do the jackpot. I would go to this one machine, take the jackpot, be like, yeah, and maybe wait a few years, come back, go to another slot machine somewhere else.
Yeah, you can't hit all the casinos like too. They're gonna catch on real quick. You're not gonna be their favorite person.
Oh yeah, you'll get kicked out.
Yeah.
Look what they do to people who just simply count numbers, which isn't illegal. It's just the fact that they don't want you to do that.
Man, I mean, we don't gamble. I don't gamble. I'm terrible at it.
Me too.
Even the slot machines, I get bored really quickly, where I'm like,
okay, then.
I cash out quick too. It's kind of like, oh, that can buy me dinner. Cash out. Done. Enough. Secret agent stuff. I think I always want those really cool masks that they have with Mission Impossible, where they put it on and they mold it and they look just like the person, and they have like little voice changers in it.
Oh,
obviously I can't pose as just anybody in the world because of my stature. Like, you really, again, like we're talking about how you can't ask people to just change your height because it's impossible. I can't change the rest of me, but I can at least change this, and like that would just be cool. And I also just really want it for the reveal moment of like pulling the mask off and be like, I have you now.
Honestly, I would love to do that also when I do like birthday parties and stuff, to actually look like Ewan McGregor. If I ever did like an Obi-Wan party, or to actually look like the actor that I'm trying to portray. Yeah, that would be really cool. If because I don't want to do anything illegal with it, kind of a thing.
Yeah. And going back to the chat here, seeing what you guys have to say about this super chat. Let's see. There was a couple.
Ooh, Vanja would like the laser watch.
The laser watch
That's actually a really cool. Heck, just the laser by itself. It doesn't have to be in a watch. Just being able to have like something that's a laserish kind of a thing that's able to cut through steel.
Yes, exactly. Break out of anything. The villain story for Doctor Doom.
Ooh,
that's a fantastic one.
Be able to get a good origin story for Doctor Doom, especially the one that's based off of how he even remembers himself being born. That's how incredibly like his intellect is.
Yes,
he remembers everything.
Yeah.
So I would, see the Doctor Doom would be really nice to see from Fantastic Four.
We love that. Yeah, that would be an interesting angle to see it from his perspective. Great suggestion, Brututu. All right, our final topic in Newsflash.
We do have one more super chat from Vanja.
I will put it back. I'm so sorry. I keep missing him today.
Oh, no, it's okay. I mean, it's when they're all flying by, it's kind of hard.
All right, at least I'm able to still click on it. Vanja writes, where would you go if you had your own grand RV? Something Dustin and I talk about very often.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, the first thing that we would do, is a tour of our own country, going around and seeing the so many different states in the United States, and to be like, I can probably count all of the different states that I've been on one hand, kind of a thing. So it feels kind of like we don't even really explore the country that we live in very much.
Right.
To where I would love to be able to go to all these different states and visit all of them. And then I would love to take it up to Canada.
Yes.
Now, if we could teleport the Grand RV anywhere we wanted, I would love to kind of start off in Ireland.
Okay.
And work my way down Ireland into the England, and then go from England down into the rest of Europe to see France, and then just drive around Europe.
So fun
for a few months.
That'd be so fun. You'd be driving because I would.
I don't know how good I would be driving at
on
an
the other
RV.
Side of the road, right? Oh,
that's
what I'd be worried about. Like, am I allowed to make a turn here? Can I not? I don't know. I feel like I remember I was trying to cross, like just walking across the crosswalk in New Zealand. It was a really small crosswalk, so you just essentially wait for the cars to finish going. And I realized I was looking the wrong way because I would look to my right to see. And the oncoming traffic, I had to look the other, and I was so confused because I almost stepped out. They're like, "No, don't go," and I'm like, "I'm sorry." It was a little traumatic. Dustin and I have always talked about this one park in Ohio.
Oh yeah,
what's the?
It's a role playing park, right? Is that the one?
That's the one.
Gosh, I can't believe I can't remember.
This is your thing.
It's my thing, and I've completely forgotten about it. I've watched tons and tons of videos on it, and it's like 10 hours from where we live, but I would love to have me, Wendy, a couple friends to drive up to this one place. I'll look it up and I'll put it in the comments later on.
Put it in our Discord.
I'll put it in the Discord. And I just really want to do this and be able to spend a weekend in this cool role-playing park. And it's all like fantasy based, and I've seen so many reviews from people that have gone that are just like in awe of the actors, of the environment, of how they actually get you to be all, what is that called? What does Disney do? They do immersive experience. Mm-hmm. Thank you. So that is definitely a place that I would love to go and visit it.
We've also talked about kind of mapping out the timing of, this was a little while ago, we were talking about this, never happened for us, but when the eclipse happened, that we were going to drive where they have like the totality to
be in the shadow of the moon, to get that total eclipse.
So we were going to try to do that, and then we kind of decided we wanted to do it way too late, and by the time we looked up everything, rooms were booked, things were very expensive, and we're just like, maybe not. But that is something that's been kind of on our minds for a while. So once we'll see how this year goes, how we do with COVID here once the fall comes around, and if we continue to beat this thing, then that's something I really want to do. But yeah, I
think the next one is in 2024 or 2027. Oh. So there is one
let's hope for 2024 because it's closer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love to see something like that. Shane White says, my family and I will be going to Vegas in August.
Ooh.
And we're going to see the Jabberwockies. They are so good. They are so good. I didn't get to go and see. Oh, and Sean also says, different Sean. Sorry, that was Shane. Shane is going to Vegas. Sean is asking, have we been to the Grand Canyon? I think Dustin has. I have not. I've never seen it. other than, on TV or in like a YouTube video or in a poster in a book somewhere. So that's
I
something I
went a
want to go
long
and
time
see.
ago
I want to go
when
and
my
see
parents
it.
went, and when we went to do like a Vegas family trip, and we went to go see the Grand Canyon. It's impressive. You see pictures and you're like, okay, cool, it's a canyon. But when you really get there and you're just like, oh, it's
a lot, huh? A
huge.
lot to
It's a
take in.
lot.
Yeah, I love to see it. Definitely something I want to go and see. Okay, now I think we can move to the next portion
Mm-hmm.
of our topics today. Thank you so much, Vanja, for your super chat. Let me just messing it up here. Here we go. Okay, so final topic for today. Miss Issa Rae is going to voice Jessica Drew in the Into the Spider-Verse sequel, which is really, really, really exciting. You probably know her from the HBO comedy/drama Insecure, but she is going to be voicing Jessica Drew in the sequel. And we also know that Phil Lord and Chris Miller are returning for this one. So I'm really, really excited to have, them creating the sequel for us again. And then we also know that for this sequel, we think obviously Shameik Moore is coming back. Haley Steinfeld are reprising their role as Spider-Gwen, respectively. So very, very excited about that. So this is going to be great. I think there's been, talks of, what do you call it? There's been talks of a Spider-Woman, excuse me. There's been talks of a Spider-Woman movie. So if this is kind of like for us a little dipping our toe into the pool to kind of explore the story of Jessica Drew, that's really exciting to me. And I can't wait because the more characters from the Spider-Verse we get, the closer we're gonna get to seeing eventually all of them, including Spider-Gwen, because like that's like the one that I really want, and get Spider-Woman and a Silk and maybe a Black Cat somewhere down the line.
Oh yeah,
hopefully. I'm honestly surprised that that Black Cat's not a little sooner, but you know what, I don't want to be that spoiled brat and be like, well, how come not this? I'm just really excited that we're getting, a Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew in the sequel. So what do you think about all this?
I think this is great. Any news about the Spider-Verse 2 gets me excited because I think they did such an amazing job on it. And I think it has really solidified the concept that you can do a multiverse in a movie and people will love it, to where you can tell now it makes it more possible that we can see a live action Miles Morales, that we're going to see a live action Spider-Woman, that we can see a live action Spider-Gwen kind of thing. And the more that these movies are successful, the higher probability that Sony will just make it like, hey, let's just explode our Spider-Verse kind of a thing. So I'm super excited for them for Sony just to be finally like, okay, we now know where we want to go and what we want to do with Spider-Man, because we can't really do the Tom Holland Spider-Man because that's kind of mixed up with Marvel.
Right.
Let's do another Spider-Man. It could be 100 million other different Peter Parkers. It could be Miles Morales. Yes. I would love for Miles Morales to kind of show up in Venom 2 and be like, hey, this is the universe that we're in with Venom.
Yeah. And Rututu is asking, is this Sony Spider-Verse or MCU? Technically, all Spider stuff technically belongs to Sony, even though Spider-Man is a Marvel superhero. Sony has all the rights as far as like film and I think even TV goes. So it's technically the Sony Spider-Verse. And then let's see, somebody was talking about kind of going back to the previous topic of like if we could take an RV trip. MK, I think he left already, but MK says, is it Evermore Park?
That's what it is. Actually, I was going to say that because I had just looked it up, but Evermore in Utah.
Utah's beautiful.
UT, right? That's Utah?
Yeah, that's Utah.
And
I've been to Utah once.
I want to go there. It looks amazing, especially now. It seems like they're doing, since the pandemic is over, they're like now pumping in a whole bunch of money to get things up and going again. And I was looking at the website a few moments ago. It looks amazing.
We love that. And Marvin Martin with another suggestion. Marvin, thank you so much. Marvin writes, Antelope Canyon, but skip Devil's Bridge. What's Devil's Bridge? Is it?
For some reason, I get a feeling that it's kind of like the bridge that they used to have at Universal Studios that would fall apart on you kind of thing.
What?
And it's just a scary kind of bridge.
I don't know that. What is that?
I
What
don't.
you just said.
You've never been on the universe. It's right behind King
I haven't
Kong.
lived here all my life though.
Okay.
So
What they used to
Universal.
have is it was used in the $6 million Man. And when you go across this bridge, it starts falling apart on you.
Oh, so it's like the canyon, but the bridge is
Okay, then I'm
like
way off.
it's just like a tiny strip that you walk across. There's no handrails from what I see.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a skip for me.
Well, that's when your heart just goes down
I
into your
think I
stomach.
go look at it. You know, I think I go look at it, be like, wow, cool. And then I'm just going to turn around. Yeah. I'm just like, how do I get down from here now safely? Thank you so much to Marvin for your suggestion. That's awesome.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll probably go and just look at the bridge and be like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
We're good.
If I go across it, I'll be like laying down on my belly and just trying to crawl across.
Army crawl across. Inchworm across. So yeah, very excited for the addition to the Spider-Verse sequel. I cannot wait because we love the first one. If you haven't watched it, I feel like everybody, at least our audience base, probably have watched it by now. But if you haven't, give it a watch. It's really, really, really fantastic. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to our final topic for today. And that is the Bad Batch episode 6 spoiler discussion. So we leave this to kind of the final part of our live stream because we want to be able to chat with you guys and have fun and have a conversation back and forth before saying like, oh, we gotta talk about spoilers. And if you haven't watched it, we're either going to spoil the episode for you or you just won't really understand.
So if you haven't seen it,
bye. If you choose to leave, of course you are welcome to stay. But this episode 6, titled Decommissioned, might be my favorite episode to date. It's competing with the Fennec episode because I really love seeing Fennec in animation. So
those have been my two best favorite episodes too.
But now, the Bad Batch are kind of set up there with Sid in her bar doing little jobs, becoming mercenaries. And this time they're being sent to Cruella, and they're going to find that there's only one left, one tactical droid that they have to bring back for Sid. And what do you know? I think we're going to really get a lot of cameos in the Bad Batch from all the previous, whether other Star Wars characters that haven't appeared in animation form or Star Wars characters that we have seen in Clone Wars. And because this time we got to see the Martez sisters are back, Rafa and Trace are back in this one, which is so appropriate that it's them doing this job.
Yeah.
Because, Rafa, that's what she kind of used to do as the older sister. She was kind of like, well, we got to make money somehow. We got, bills to pay. We got to be able to survive. They live on Coruscant. So
she was always the one that was looking for like that get rich quick scheme kind of a thing. And now it's kind of like, well, now that we can take those skills and work for the rebellion, kind of a thing against the Empire. I do like seeing them back. I did like their dynamic in this episode. There were some moments that I was kind of like, both Wendy and I were calling, oh, someone's going to get stuck on the conveyor belts kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot of fun. I do have to admit, though, they really did push the boundary of droids that can't shoot a thing.
I mean, there were a lot of misses. There were a lot of just like, pew, 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 pew. What are you shooting at? I don't know.
Just shoot them.
Just Roger. But I love seeing that. I love that the Bad Batch have met the Martez sisters because we also know previously they've met with Ahsoka Tano. They've had their dealings with a Jedi. And who are they doing this job for? We get to see like a tiny portion of, it looks like a male figure because they said the words patch him through. So we know it's a guy they're talking to. Dustin thinks it's Bail Organa, that they are actually doing this as a favor for him, which then would kind of totally make sense because later in Rebel, wasn't it Bail who called on Ahsoka to kind of take on this whole fulcrum thing?
Yes, it was.
So that could be the connective tissue there for Bail, and like that would be really cool. But we were seeing in our comment section of that video that they were saying it could potentially also be I think somebody said Mace Windu, somebody said it could be Saw, somebody else said
that was actually my first guess.
Yeah, that was your first guess, and that was a really good guess, I think. Yeah, so potentially, I mean, I think we will see this reveal not in the next episode, but a few episodes from now. That's going to come into fruition because the Martez sisters, Rafa specifically said, hey, we met, some some clones, but I think they can help us in the rebellion.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. And I think that right there kind of gives us the bigger picture is the rebellion is building, you know, its army, its team, I guess. I don't want to say army. The rebellion's not building their army, but you know they're finding you know people that will support their cause.
And right now you would still have a lot of people that start the rebellion involved with the Empire because they still have the Senate. The Senate still has power. The Senate still has a little bit of sway. So, and you'll have a lot of people who are still infiltrated in there. So Bail Organa is one of them. You would still have the lady that was dressed all in white in
Mon Mothma?
Mon Mothma. You would have Mon Mothma in there. So you'd still have a lot of figures that have power that are like, oh, this is going terribly wrong. We need to start separating ourselves. We need to start preparing ourselves for a fight. So this is going to be the birth of the rebellion in a sense. And they're all going to still be inside of the Empire.
Yeah, this is going to be real interesting to see where we land with all this and what Tarkin is doing on Kamino. And then, of course, another important thing to kind of talk about from this episode is what happened with Wrecker. We all know that in previous episodes, he's hit his head several times. He's getting a headache. His inhibitor chip might be starting to act up. And we really saw that in this one where that phrase, Crosshair said it, and that's just like, don't got a good feeling about this. When you say phrases like that, good soldiers follow orders. And I just worry that it doesn't seem like he's really saying anything to the rest of his members about his, you know, head injury or his headache. All he's saying is like, I got a headache. So, well, Tech, you know, happened to be running a diagnosis on him just to kind of check their own inhibitor chips. Will he find out that it's starting to act up? And that's going to affect Wrecker in any way, or it's going to be one of those, it's too late. And then does Wrecker then also depart from the team and go back to Kamino? Because that gives the Empire two soldiers. What do you think?
I have a theory that, okay, so yeah, Wrecker's chip is starting to act up. They're going to scan it. They're going to find out something's wrong with it, but they're going to be like, we don't have the means to be able to fix this here or anywhere. The only place that we can fix it is on Kamino.
Yes.
So yeah, and then that's where they go and they have to go back and get it fixed there.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense.
Oh gosh, that would well, I mean, I don't mean they have to go back to Kamino. I mean, once Wrecker has been his inhibitor chip actually kicks in and activates and he starts to follow order, he will disband from this group to go back to Kamino on his own. Oh, that's what I meant. I'm sorry if that was confusing. So sorry for not communicating across effectively, but we look forward to seeing what comes up in the next episode when Fennec is going to show up again. I love that Omega has her own little crossbow, little laser bow action, and Sid's little lesson. Like, you got to shaky noodly arms. You got to shoot like this. Boom, boom, boom. Lesson over.
I have to admit, though,
love
kind
her.
Of like, I kind of liked, what was it? Ezra's little weapon that he had.
Oh, right.
I'm kind of like, why would they give her such a big, clunky weapon? That is like this big, it has to fit on your back, and everyone else is using these.
Isn't it attached to her wrist?
She, when it folds up into like that rectangle shape.
Oh, right. It kind of goes. It's on her back. I don't know. I think I like it. I think it looks cool, and I think it's like she can grow into it.
No, and that's true. It does look really cool, and it's also a kind of a cool weapon to give the younger member of the crew, kind of a cartoon crew kind of a thing.
Exactly.
So I do like the aesthetics of it, but the logistics of it, I'm kind of like, why wouldn't you just give her a blaster?
Because they probably don't want to put a blaster in a young kid's hand.
No, that's definitely the reason.
That's definitely why. And plus, how cool would it be to walk into like a toy store and be like, oh, look, the Bad Batch toys. You can have your own wrist crossbow thing.
Mm-hmm. And have it shoot Nerf gun and Nerf bullets. And I used to have one like that.
Yeah. And then we have one actually somewhere in the house. It whistles as it goes across the way and it glows at night. Yeah, we definitely have one because, again, we are adults, but we are also like children.
We like love toys. And I love Star Drew's comment. I love that one part where he goes, do we have an Echo in here? I'm Echo.
Yeah, that was a fun moment, like a nice little play on word. Because even I said it, I was like, "Do we have an echo in here?" And I'm like, "Yes, technically, yes, we do. We literally do." And hey, you guys, before we go, go ahead and end the stream here. I totally forgot about this because I didn't put it on our banners here, but we got to talk about real quick. John Wick 4 casts Donnie Yen to be in the movie, which there's nothing I love more. Donnie Yen is so powerful and he's got this finesse with the way he fights. Like he doesn't even, I feel like when he does any actions sequences or fight scenes, he doesn't even break a sweat. He's like gliding on water, just everything looks effortless. And I can't believe we haven't had this team up yet until now. But you know what? Who cares? Better late than never. Put them together. I don't know whose team Donnie is on. Is he another assassin going after John Wick? What's the story this time around? Or is he kind of helping John Wick? I feel like most likely it'll be kind of that. Like, you don't want to mess with them once like John Wick teams up with whoever Donnie Yen is playing. Hands off. They've already won. Just walk away.
I just want to see a fight between John Wick and Donnie Yen's
That could happen first.
Because with the way that Keanu Reeves' personality is, he would want to get to Donnie Yen's level. And you know he's going to put everything into that, and just I want to see that fight. Yeah. I want to see the fight between the two of them. Yeah. And I would just geek out when that fight happens.
It's going to be great. And Marvin says they need to do the Unbok dude in there, and I think he's talking about Tony Ya. I think with due time, Tony and all the other like amazing martial artists / actors are going to make their way into this pretty huge John Wick movie. I feel like it's gonna be big.
I have to admit, I'm really impressed where John Wick has come from. Remember, we didn't even hear about this movie until like a month before it came out, the very first one. And we were like, what? I mean, Keanu Reeves, they killed his puppy. Okay, this looks like just like kind of like a dumb popcorn. And then you watch and you're like,
this is so good.
This is amazing. And then they make the second and the third and the fourth, and they're like, this is really cool. I really love the action behind it. Yeah. And the fighting style and just the amazing stunts that they put in there. Yes. So I am like really impressed to where the franchise has come from and where it's going.
Yeah, I agree. And I can't wait to see another John Wick 4. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and end this broadcast. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thumbs up this video because that gets us more visibility on Facebook. And we will see you guys on Wednesday for another live stream. All right, you guys, take care.
And don't forget, Sunday, Wendy's going to be doing some live streaming on Twitch. Yes. So go ahead and check her out there at Wendy Lee. I don't know how you do Twitch because
twitch.tv/Wendy Lee Zaney.
So check her out. She does amazing fun games. I don't know what you're playing this Sunday, but
it's the same. Right now it's Paper Mario Origami King. It's just a good time, kind of like this, super casual, and me screaming at the battling system because I don't love it. But I love the story in the game. So yeah, okay. I will see some of you guys then. And until then, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.